95% of senior riders who quit motorcycling this year will do so because the machine in their garage became a physical prison. Not because their reflexes are gone, because they bought heavy, punishing motorcycles built for 30-year-old knees and lower backs. The industry pushes massive baggers and towering adventure bikes as status symbols, ignoring the physiological realities of aging. Today we expose 15 motorcycles that will end your riding career early, plus the exact alternative for each one. Number 1 is the most successful adventure bike on earth, and it is a parking lot trap. Let us get into it. Number 15, Yamaha MT-09. The MT-09 is a masterpiece of performance engineering. It is also a machine that will punish you for any lapse in concentration at low speed, which is exactly when senior riders are most vulnerable. The cross-plane inline triple delivers power with a violent snap. The ride-by-wire throttle is hyper-responsive. At low speeds in a roundabout or a tight parking lot, your wrist moves a fraction of an inch over a bump and the bike lurches forward with a jolt of torque. The stiff suspension transmits every ripple in the pavement directly into your wrists and lower back. The aggressive forward-leaning seating position puts weight onto joints that do not appreciate it anymore. Picture navigating a slow-speed U-turn in a neighborhood. The throttle snatches over a tiny bump. You fight for balance, fighting both the machine and your own adrenaline spike. And that fight is exhausting in your 20s. In your 60s, it is terrifying. For young stunt riders and aggressive canyon carvers who want constant adrenaline, this is a fantastic machine. It is just not built for patience. The smart swap is the Kawasaki Z650RS. Beautiful retro styling, upright ergonomics, and a smooth parallel twin that does exactly what you ask without any attitude. It looks sharp, handles well, and costs less to insure. A used MT-09 runs around $7,000. The Z650RS sits at $6,000 and will never try to embarrass you at a stoplight. The MT-09 demands reflexes. The 900-pound American icon, waiting at number 14, demands something far more painful: your knees. Number 14, Harley-Davidson Electra Glide. Few motorcycles carry more emotional weight than the Electra Glide. It is the retirement dream. It is also a 900-pound liability for aging knees. The massive batwing fairing and heavy infotainment system mount directly to the front forks. This makes the steering top-heavy and the handling dense. The sheer mass of the machine means that once it starts going down in a parking lot, no amount of willpower stops it. Picture this. You pull into a gas station with a slight off-camber slope. You turn the handlebars to navigate the pump and squeeze the front brake. The fork-mounted weight dives. The bike tips past 15 degrees, and your knee joints cannot stop 900 pounds of American iron. The bike goes down, and two strangers have to help you get it upright. For two up cross-country touring couples with serious lower body strength, this machine delivers unmatched highway comfort and wind protection. It is genuinely brilliant at what it does on a long, flat interstate. It just requires more physical capability than most riders over 60 can reliably bring to every gas station. The direct swap is the Harley-Davidson Heritage Classic. Same V-twin sole, same touring aesthetic, but the windshield is removable, the center of gravity sits much lower, and it weighs 150 pounds less. A used Electra Glide costs $10,000. The Heritage Classic is a very reasonable $9,000 and will not require a rescue team to pick up. The Electra Glide crushes your knees. The tall machine at number 13 will do something worse. It will go for your hip flexors on an ordinary red light. Number 13, Kawasaki KLR 650. The KLR 650 is a legendary survival tool. It has crossed deserts and circled the globe on zip ties and prayer. It will also send you to a physiotherapist if you try to ride it into your 60s. The seat towers at 34.3 inches. The fuel tank holds 6 gallons and sits high on the frame. When that tank is full, the machine behaves like a weighted pendulum. The top heavy mass makes every uneven stop a test of hip strength. You stop at a red light on a crowned country road. You stretch your leg down, but your boot finds a dip in the asphalt. Because the heavy fuel sits so high, gravity takes over before you can compensate. You strain your hip flexor, holding up a top-heavy tractor on uneven ground. Do that 3 times a day, every day, and your hip will file a formal complaint. For tall, budget-conscious riders who want an unkillable workhorse to cross continents, the KLR is still one of the best machines ever built. It just assumes you have the inseam of a professional basketball player. The smart alternative is the Royal Enfield Himalayan 450. Excellent off-road capability, much lower seat height, and weight carried closer to the ground where it cannot hurt you. A used KLR goes for $4,000. The Himalayan 450 runs about $4,500 and will not destroy your hip flexors before breakfast. The KLR towers over your hips. The muscle cruiser at number 12 tortures a completely different part of your anatomy, your lumbar spine. Number 12, Suzuki Boulevard M109. Our cruisers are supposed to be comfortable. The M109R chose drag strip aesthetics over human anatomy, and your lower back pays the price. This machine weighs 764 pounds and uses what engineers call clamshell ergonomics. The foot pegs push your legs far forward. The massive tank requires a long forward stretch to reach the handlebars. Your body folds into a rigid C shape and stays there. 1 hour into a highway ride, your feet are out front and your legs cannot absorb any shock. Every pothole, every bridge expansion joint, every chip-sealed road surface sends a direct, unfiltered impact straight up through the seat and into your lumbar spine. Your lower back becomes the motorcycle's primary shock absorber. After 2 hours, you are not riding. You are being punished. For muscle cruiser enthusiasts who live for stoplight launches and massive V-twin torque, this machine delivers something genuinely spectacular. The power is real. The quarter-mile times are real. Just do not ask it to also be comfortable on a 2-hour ride. The Kawasaki Vulcan S is the intelligent swap. It features the Ergo Fit system, letting you customize the seat height, handlebar position, and foot peg location to match your exact body dimensions. A used M109R costs $6,500. A used Vulcan S runs about $5,000 and will not leave you walking stiffly to the bathroom the morning after a long ride. The Suzuki bends your spine. The ADV machine at number 11 attacks a completely different vulnerability, your inseam. Number 11, Honda Africa Twin Adventure Sports. The Africa Twin Adventure Sports is a technological marvel. Dual clutch transmission, cornering ABS, semi-active suspension. It is also built for a very specific, tall rider demographic that most seniors do not belong to. The seat reaches 33.5 inches with 529 pounds underneath it. The suspension travel is massive, pushing the center of gravity high into the air. If you cannot flat-foot this motorcycle, every red light becomes a physical negotiation. Picture stop-and-go gridlock. Because you cannot get a flat foot down, you slide your pelvis off the seat to get the toes of one boot on the pavement. You do this left, right for 20 minutes through heavy traffic. Your hips ache, your confidence evaporates. You start planning routes around traffic rather than through it, and eventually you stop riding certain roads altogether. For tall, aggressive off-road riders who spend real time in deep ruts and desert terrain, this machine is worth every dollar. For everyone else, it is a confidence destroyer in slow traffic. The Honda NX 500 is the direct swap. Beautiful adventure styling, the same bulletproof Honda reliability, a much lower seat height, and at a fraction of the price. You also get to keep your confidence intact in traffic, which is worth more than the price difference. A used Africa Twin Adventure. Sports costs $12,000. The NX 500 is a steal at $6,500 and will keep both your feet firmly on the ground. If this list is saving you from a bike that would have ended your riding career, hit that like button right now. The Africa Twin is too tall. The Sport Tourer at number 10 is a brilliant highway machine that will trap you in a parking lot if you are not paying attention. Number 10, Yamaha FJR1300. Iron butt competitors love the FJR1300. It is an undisputed king of high-speed interstate travel. It is also a 642-pound machine that will make you look helpless in a parking lot. The massive inline-4 sits high in the frame, concentrating weight in the worst possible location for low-speed handling. The dense mass makes slow speed maneuvering an act of deliberate concentration that grows exhausting over a full day of riding. You pull forward into a parking spot on a barely perceptible downhill incline. Time to leave. You try to reverse. 600 pounds fights back. Your boots lose grip on the asphalt. Your quadriceps do not have the raw strength to push that mass backward up an incline. You sit there stranded until a stranger offers to help. No dramatic crash, no emergency, just a quiet, embarrassing moment. That is the moment many senior riders quietly decide to sell. For iron butt competitors and highway commuters who want maximum wind protection and shaft drive reliability, the FJR is one of the finest machines ever built. At triple-digit speeds, it is magnificent. The Yamaha Tracer 9 GT is the intelligent swap. Upright sport touring ergonomics, hard luggage, ADV Advanced cruise control, and 150 pounds lighter than the FJR. A used FJR1300 costs $6,000. The Tracer 9 GT runs about $10,000, and its lighter weight pays for the price difference in years of stress-free parking. The FJR parks like an anvil. The Italian machine at number 9 will cook your joints from the inside out in summer traffic. Number 9. Ducati Monster 1200. Italian motorcycles are built for passion. The Monster 1200 delivers passion, presence, and a blistering heat problem that turns a summer traffic jam into a joint pain session you will remember until Thursday. The massive L-twin engine routes the rear exhaust header directly under the rider's seat. At highway speeds, the airflow manages it. In slow gridlock traffic, it does not. The heat radiates directly onto your inner thighs and knees. Meanwhile, the hydraulic clutch is heavy. Repeated clutch pulls in stop-and-go traffic target exactly the grip strength and wrist health that aging tends to compromise first. You are caught in a summer traffic jam. The airflow stops. The L-twin radiates intense heat onto your knees. Your left hand cramps from pulling the heavy lever. Your arthritis flares. You are not riding anymore. You are managing pain while operating heavy machinery. That combination is as unpleasant as it sounds. For exotic purists who ride fast, open canyon roads where airflow keeps the engine cool and gear changes are rare, the Monster 1200 is a genuinely spectacular machine. It rewards confidence and punishes anything less. The Triumph Speed. Twin 900 is the smart swap. Gorgeous European styling, a smooth, cool-running engine, and an assist clutch that requires almost zero hand strength. A used Monster 1200 costs $8,000. The Speed Twin 900 runs $7,000 and will not try to poach your knees in traffic. Subscribe to the channel right now. We break down the bikes you need to know about and the ones to avoid. The Ducati brings the heat. The wide transcontinental missile at number 8 forces your hips into a geometry that makes reaching the ground much harder than the numbers suggest. Number 8. Kawasaki Concours 14. The Concours 14 eats interstate miles like nothing else. Built around the engine of a ZX-14 hyperbike, it is fast, refined, and genuinely imposing on the highway. Get it into a parking lot, however, and the geometry becomes a problem for older hips. At 690 pounds, the Concours features a massive saddle that splays the rider's legs outward. This wide profile effectively increases the reach to the ground, even if your actual inseam is adequate. Your legs go outward instead of straight down, and that lateral V-shape costs you leverage and balance at every stop. At a toll booth, you put your feet down. The wide seat pushes your legs into a wide V. Instead of a planted, flat-footed stance, you are balancing 690 pounds on the tips of your toes while a transport truck idles impatiently behind you. Your hips strain against the geometry. Every steep intersection is a calculation rather than a reflex. For high-speed touring riders with long inseams who spend most of their time at motorway pace, the Concours is a tremendous machine. It is genuinely one of the fastest touring bikes ever built. Buy the Kawasaki Versys 1000. It utilizes the brilliant, torque-heavy inline-4 engine from the Ninja 1000, but offers a much narrower seat profile, upright ergonomics, and significantly lighter handling. A used Concours 14 sells for $6,000. A used Versys 1000 goes for $9,000, but the narrower midsection alone is worth every extra dollar. The Concours is too wide. The Austrian Predator at number 7 is too violent, producing 180 horsepower from a machine that expects instant, precise physical responses. Number 7. KTM 1290 Super Duke R. They call it the Beast. That is not a marketing nickname. That is a description of what happens to you if your inputs are not precise. The Super Duke R produces 180 horsepower through a torque delivery that is brutal and instantaneous. The suspension is tuned for the racetrack. Every rough patch of road translates directly into your spine and hands. Nothing is softened or filtered. This machine was designed for 25-year-olds with racecraft, not for riders managing stiff joints in canyon traffic. You are accelerating out of a corner and hit a mid-corner bump. The suspension jolts your spine. The bump twists your wrist. 180 horsepower responds instantly, lifting the front wheel and threatening to loop the bike. Saving it requires reflexes and core strength that aging does not always leave intact. The margin for error is zero. For track day junkies and elite street riders who want the pinnacle of naked bike performance, the Super Duke R is an extraordinary machine. It just demands everything in return. The BMW R1250R is the intelligent alternative. Massive, predictable boxer torque, a plush and compliant suspension, and shaft drive that never needs attention. It rewards experienced riding without punishing any lapse in concentration. A used Super Duke R commands $12,000. A used BMW R1250R sells for $13,000. And the extra $1,000 buys you a suspension that works with your body instead of against it. If this list is giving you the information dealerships will never share, drop a comment below telling us which bike surprised you most. We read every single one. The KTM demands aggressive reflexes. The Japanese icon at number 6 is a legendary race machine that tortures your neck and wrists on a 40-minute commute. Number 6, Yamaha YZF-R6. The R6 is one of the greatest race machines ever built. On a circuit, it is a masterpiece of balance, feedback, and momentum. On a public road commute, it is an anatomical nightmare for any rider over 50. The gap between those two use cases is enormous. The foot pegs are mounted high and far back. The clip-on handlebars sit low. Your knees are folded into acute angles that restrict blood flow. Your wrists bear a massive percentage of your body weight. To see the road ahead, you must crane your neck sharply upward into severe extension, holding that position for 40 minutes while your cervical spine files a protest. 30 minutes into a highway commute, your hands go numb from the weight on your wrists. Your knees ache from the restricted position. Your neck cramps. You start shifting your weight constantly, searching for relief that the ergonomics will not provide. The bike is brilliant. Your body just does not fit it anymore. For professional track racers and young riders whose joints have not yet met the reality of aging, this is one of the finest super sports ever built. Ride it on a circuit where it belongs. The Kawasaki Ninja 650 is the smart swap. Full sport bike fairings, great performance, but with high upright handlebars in a relaxed foot peg position that leaves your neck, wrists, and knees completely alone. A used R6 holds value at $9,000. A used Ninja 650 is $5,000 and will not send you to a chiropractor every Monday. The Yamaha dismantles your neck. The 900-pound American legend at number 5 will challenge every muscle below your waist simultaneously. Number 5, Indian Roadmaster. The Indian Roadmaster is beautiful. It is loud, imposing, and dripping with American luxury. It is also 912 pounds of touring machine that will drop on you in a slow turn and require a team of people to help you recover. The wet weight is 912 pounds. The massive rear trunk, heavy saddlebags, and front fairing distribute that weight across the entire upper half of the motorcycle. When it leans past the tipping point, the high mass takes over and no amount of leg strength stops the fall. You are attempting a low-speed U-turn on a crowned road. The bike leans. The moment it passes the point of no return, the weight of the trunk and the fairing accelerates the fall. You cannot fight 900 pounds with a bent knee on imperfect pavement. The drop happens and then the real problem begins. Trying to lift 900 pounds off the ground in full riding gear is a dangerous physical exertion for anyone, let alone a senior rider. For touring couples who want premium audio, heated seats, and ultimate passenger luxury on long straight highways, the Roadmaster is a genuinely impressive machine. It demands the legs to match it. The Indian Scout Classic is the intelligent swap. Same gorgeous Indian heritage styling, super low seat height, and a center of gravity that sits inches off the pavement. It is far more manageable in every scenario a senior rider actually encounters. A used Roadmaster commands $15,000. A used Scout Classic is a much more manageable $8,000, and it will not ambush you at a gas station. The Roadmaster is a tipping hazard. The legendary hyperbike at number 4 is a completely different problem. It stretches your shoulders and upper back across a long, punishing reach. Number 4, Suzuki Hayabusa. The Hayabusa is one of the most famous motorcycles on Earth. Stable, fast, and intimidating in all the right ways. It is also aerodynamically designed for a tucked riding position that makes perfect sense at 200 miles per hour and makes 0 sense on a 2-hour Sunday ride. Weighing 586 pounds, the Hayabusa features an elongated fuel tank designed to let riders tuck at 200 miles per hour. That long tank forces an extended reach to the handlebars. Your arms lock straight out. Constant tension builds in your shoulders, traps, and lumbar spine. You cannot sit upright to decompress your back without taking your hands off the controls. 2 hours into a Sunday morning ride, your upper back is screaming. Your arms are fatigued from the sustained lockout position. Your lumbar is compressed. The bike is doing nothing wrong. Your body is just not designed to hold that position for extended periods once you are past 50. For drag racers, land speed record chasers, and riders who want legendary straight-line acceleration in short bursts, the Hayabusa is untouchable. Just do not tour on it. The Suzuki GSXS 1000 GT is the smart alternative. It uses the legendary Suzuki Inline-4 engine lineage, but adds high upright handlebars and dedicated touring ergonomics. A used Hayabusa sells for $8,000. A used GSXS 1000 GT runs $11,000 and will not require a massage therapist on the way home. The Hayabusa stretches your shoulders. The discontinued American muscle machine at number 3 sends road impacts directly through your tailbone with zero filtering. Number 3, Harley-Davidson V-Rod. The V-Rod was revolutionary when it launched. Porsche-designed engine, liquid-cooled, drag strip, ready from the factory. It still looks incredible 20 years later. The ergonomics, however, are fundamentally flawed for aging bodies, and no amount of style changes that fact. The V-Rod uses extreme clamshell geometry, feet pushed to the absolute front of the frame, drag-style handlebars requiring a slight forward lean. Your legs are out front as shock absorbers, except they cannot absorb anything because the position prevents you from standing on the pegs. You hit a deep pothole you did not see in time. On a standard motorcycle, you would rise slightly off the seat, using your legs to absorb the impact. On the V-Rod, your feet are too far forward to allow that response. The brutal impact transfers from the rear tire through the seat directly into your tailbone. Riders with any history of lumbar or hip issues will feel that impact for days. For riders who want a unique piece of Harley-Davidson history and raw liquid-cooled drag strip power, the V-Rod offers something genuinely special. It is just not comfortable. The Triumph Bonneville T120 is the direct swap. Entirely neutral foot pegs positioned directly under your hips, letting you easily rise to absorb impacts. A used V-Rod costs $7,500. A used Bonneville T120 runs $8,000 and will not shatter your tailbone on a badly maintained road. The V-Rod abuses your tailbone. The KTM Rally Machine at number 2 turns a routine mounting procedure into a hip flexor injury waiting to happen. Number 2, KTM 890 Adventure R. The 890 Adventure R is a phenomenal off-road weapon. Built to conquer deserts and jump massive dunes, it is an extraordinary machine for the rider it was designed for. That rider is not a senior with stiff hips and heavy boots. The seat height reaches a towering 34.6 inches. The seat itself is a narrow, hard dirt bike plank designed for standing and sliding, not for sitting comfortably over long distances. Getting onto this motorcycle in full adventure gear is a physical event. You are in full adventure boots and thick riding pants. You swing a stiff leg over the 34.6-inch tail section. Your boot catches the luggage rack. You hop on your planted foot, lose your balance, and strain your hip flexor before the engine has been started. This is not a scenario from a safety manual. It is a routine Tuesday morning for senior riders who bought this bike thinking weight savings would compensate for the height. For hardcore enduro riders who spend most of their time standing on the pegs in deep dirt and genuinely need that suspension travel, the 890 Adventure R is an exceptional machine. It just assumes your flexibility has not changed since you were 30. The KTM 390 Adventure is the intelligent swap. Fantastic lightweight off-road capability, significantly lower seat height, and a fraction of the intimidating mass. A used 890 Adventure R commands $11,000. A used 390 Adventure is an excellent $5,000 and will not demand a yoga warm-up before you get on. The KTM demands flexibility you may no longer have. The machine at number 1 is the most successful adventure bike on earth, and it turns basic parking decisions into high-anxiety strategic operations. Number 1. BMW R1250 GS Adventure. The BMW R1250 GS Adventure is the most successful touring motorcycle on earth. It is an engineering masterpiece. For an aging rider, its massive dimensions create a terrifying physical trap on any slope, driveway, or parking lot that is not completely flat. The Adventure model carries a 7.9-gallon fuel tank. Fully fueled and loaded with hard aluminum panniers, the machine approaches 600 pounds. The immense suspension travel pushes all that weight high into the air. The combination of top-heavy mass and significant ride height makes every uneven surface a confidence test. You park on a very slight downhill grade facing a curb. You go inside for 10 minutes. When you return, the trap is set. You cannot reverse 600 pounds of top-heavy German engineering backward up an incline from the saddle. If you stand beside it and push, the high mass threatens to tip away from you. If it drops, picking up a fully loaded GSA is a two-person job. Senior riders end up planning their entire route around whether parking lots are flat. That is not freedom. That is management. For long-distance global explorers crossing Mongolia and Alaska who genuinely need the massive fuel range and suspension travel to survive remote terrain, this machine is worth every penny and every ounce. It was built for exactly that mission. The BMW F750 GS is the smart swap. Premium BMW adventure aesthetic, significantly lower to the ground, road-focused, and nimble in parking lots. A used R1250 GS Adventure demands $17,000. The F750 GS is a much more approachable $9,000 and will not turn every gas station stop into an anxiety-inducing balancing act. The motorcycle industry insists you must ride massive, intimidating machines to be a real rider. That is a sales strategy, not a philosophy. Downsizing is not a defeat. It is the tactical decision that keeps you riding for another 20 years. 15 machines, everyone punishing a different part of your body. Everyone with a better option that costs less and keeps you riding longer. Continue the ride and subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to subscribe and like this video. See you on the road, vroom, vroom.